welcome to the Dreadcast, episode 17.
Hi.
This is our play. This is actually our cringe-worthy first video podcast, which is probably going to take some tweaks over the time.
Yes.
But for now, you've got Ghetto set up behind me with some video games and stuff. You've got him and his unmade bed.
With my cat girl.
His lovely cat girl. But I am Tom.
I'm T. Hi.
And yes, we are the Dreadcast. So you can finally now see these cringy horror nerds that are attempting to do a professional podcast.
And yes, today we have a rather kind of a relaxed. I wouldn't say it's as intense as most of our episodes are. It's more of a nice little sort of relaxed version of having a look at the films we've watched, sort of brief overalls of what they are, and kind of what we thought about them.
I think we picked the best episode.
The best ones.
We didn't intentionally pick this episode to be the first video one. It was more of a thing of, shall we try this? Like I drew up a template. Shall we try this? And with this episode today that we're going to be doing, which is our first half of 2022 horror review, or brackets what we've seen.
Yes.
It's not going to be too. It's not going to be too much like a review. It's just going to be a talk.
More of a. What we've done is most of the films, that we're going to be in this list. You can find them already. You can find our thoughts on them by going back into the Dreadcast catalogue. There are a couple that we haven't done episodes on yet, but again, we're not going to go fully into them. We will cover them, as you will see, but more of just this is what the film was about. We really liked it because of X reasons, or we didn't like it because of such and such reasons. And
And to be fair, the films that we're going to be talking about, half of them we've already done reviews on, so you can go back to our previous episodes and listen to what we really thought about these films.
Yes.
But yeah, like you said, we're just quick pros and cons, what we liked, what we didn't like. We'll just run through what we've seen this year. Now, I do want to mention a couple things. In the promotion for this episode, I did mention that the Black Phone would be on here. That was a lie. Neither of us have seen that. No. We've been busy.
We have been busy. The UK has gone through a heat wave recently. It's been unbelievably hot in the UK. It's reached like 41, which, quite frankly, I do not think it has ever reached in my 31 years of being on this earth. So,
no, it's a record. New record in England.
New record in England. It should not get that hot. It's disgustingly hot. So we've kind of I don't think I've actually turned my PC on since we last recorded because it's been getting so warm. And tonight, on the day of recording this, it's the only night it's been able to turn this on without melting into a puddle. Yes,
because we were going to record. So it's a Wednesday now. We were going to record Sunday, so a couple of days ago, and that is when the heat wave was really just starting to kick in. So Monday and Tuesday were the worst, but Sunday was starting to kick in. And if you've got a good PC, it's basically a radiator.
Yes, pretty much. It's lovely in the winter, but a nightmare in the summer.
Which is why I invested in this.
It's
too cold. I had to turn it off.
I have the old method of just opening a window. That window is rubbish because it's broken. As you can actually
a window.
A window. I know.
Is that an old timey thing?
So you see where my finger? That thing right there.
Yeah, that thing there. Yeah.
That's actually the handle that's broken off.
You have to,
so I can't actually open that window.
Oh.
No. So I'm working on 1.5 windows.
Let's get a Patreon going to get this man a new window.
Exactly. No, not a new window. Just take the window. I'll just get rid of it.
Just a hole in the wall.
Just a hole in the wall. That'd be fine.
So yeah, there's a few films we may not have seen. Black Phone, Men. I really wanted to try and get to see Men in time for this episode, but it's gonna have to be for the next catch up. Black Phone, Men, Fresh, Studio 666.
Oh yes.
There's a few that we'll need to catch up on, and we'll do another movie catch up on. So.
What we decided to do is, rather than originally we were going to do the first 7 months up to now of horror films, but then we realized that there are loads of horror films that have come out that either we're just like, I don't really want to see that, not because we don't love horror films, but mainly because it's like, I'm just not interested in that kind of film, or we simply ran out of time. I wanted to go see Studio 66 in the cinema, but unfortunately it came in and it went so quick that just never got the chance to. So we decided
you don't do this for a living. You only have a certain amount of time. So
exactly. So we changed it to every now and then we'll do a roundup of the films that we've watched since this episode. And yes, most likely you'll have films like The Black Phone, Men, Studio 666.
Yeah. So we got a couple for you to this episode. I say a couple that we've already done big reviews on, but you can go back and listen to them. I'm going to keep saying that. So the first one we're going to be talking about, which came out, it was a great start for this year.
It was,
and it was a film I wasn't, because I don't like when franchises come back for no reason, but this one worked. Scream 5 worked really well. We both really enjoyed this.
We did.
We loved it. It's, out of all the films we're about to discuss, it's probably my horror film of the year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well that's me. That's me.
Okay, that's interesting. Mine, it's not mine. I have a different one.
It's Texas Chainsaw.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That film just blew my mind.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was I must admit, when they announced that they were doing Scream 5, I was quite skeptical, because to me it was like, well, the Scream franchise hasn't really worked since Scream 1, Scream 2. I mean, I love Scream 1 and Scream 2. I thought they were fantastic. 3 and 4, for me, I was like, yeah, they're not that good. I didn't really get into them. But Scream 5, when I saw it, I must admit, it was nice. It was pretty good.
You hit it. Yeah. I think when we did a Scream retrospective on the franchise of 1 to 4.
Episode 2.
Again, go back and listen to that. I think we both realised while watching through the older ones that 4 wasn't as bad as we initially thought. Compared to 3.
Yeah.
3 is the bottom of the barrel. And I think our tier list went 1, 2, 5, 4, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, 5 was great. You had the main three cast back, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and
Nev Campbell. And of course, Roger Jackson as Ghostface. He came back as well.
Yes. And the new additions weren't bad as well.
Yes.
With Jenna
they
Ortega.
were great. The Mix Twins.
Yes. Oh, Randy's niece and nephew.
Oh, that was so good.
Great casting. Great script for them.
And of course, we had the return of Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis. He did appear in a minor role, but he did come back.
Briefly, yeah. I thought it was great. It was a great film. The one downside I didn't like was I can't remember who played Jenna Ortega's sister. I can't remember her name now.
Melissa Barrera. Yes.
What was her character?
I believe that was Sam Carpenter.
Sam. Yeah, and her partner, played by Jack Quaid, I believe. He was he was one half of the killers in the end. Spoiler, by the way. I thought she was probably the weakest out of everyone.
Yeah, I remember you didn't really particularly like that character. The one thing that I really liked about the start of the film was how they modernized it. So it was a parody of the first Scream film, where Drew Barrymore, she picks up the phone, she's home alone, and Ghostface, Billy and Stu at the time, they taunt her with movie trivia. And if she gets them right, she gets to live. If she gets them wrong, people die. And I thought it was great how they did that with this film, but the girl, I can't remember her name, Tara, she just Googles it. She just sits and goes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's that. Oh, yeah, okay, right, cool. Next question. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's that. Oh, yeah, cool. Which is actually what people nowadays would do. If they don't know the answer, you just Google it.
You would.
It's great.
Tech-savvy youth, shall we say.
Yeah.
Because every person really is, especially the younger generation now.
They really are.
And she survived.
Yes, she did. She was one of the final
girls. I love
girls.
that difference. They didn't just go with girl with pre-credits, stalked by the killer, she dies, then we're introduced to our main cast. No, she survived. She survived, kind of, pretty much. She still takes a beating, but she survives the whole way, and she was great. Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, I think So I'm intrigued. So if that's not your top film of year, I mean,
would you like me to tell you what it is now, or leave it till we get to it?
Let's leave it till we get to it. But I don't think there's much. Go listen to our Scream 5 review. It's our first episode, and that you'll get more in-depth analysis of that film. from us.
So that episode is a bit more of the older style as well of podcast that we did.
It was episode 1.
We pretty much went through the film, whereas now we realise that we prefer kind of picking up on the little bits that we, like if we're going back to an older film, we may have missed, but we prefer to focus now on how they made the film and which characters stand out the best, rather than, pretty much bringing it up on a Wikipedia page and going, oh, that's in the film, here you go.
Yep. And that was weird. We went like shot for shot for that film.
Ham on it.
Yeah, went to ham on that film.
It took that first episode before it cut down was so long.
Yeah. So
as you know,
because of our effort, because of all the effort we put into it, go watch and listen.
Yes,
to it.
Please do.
Please do. Now, we've had our dessert first.
Oh.
We're now gonna come back to our horrible starter of the meal.
Yeah.
This was in February. Yeah. This is the second film of the year.
Gosh. This came out literally 2 weeks, I think, after Scream 5.
It wasn't long, was it? Yeah, it must have been about 2 weeks. Yeah.
February 6th. No, wait. Scream. No, didn't Scream come out after this?
Scream was January.
Scream was January.
Yeah. We've been doing this since January, man.
Oh my gosh, it came out a month afterwards. Oh wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So the film in question. Oh.
There we go.
We just can't wait to talk about it.
I know. The film in question is, of course, the true sequel. I keep remembering you can now see us on camera, so I've been filling out this pencil and I keep forgetting.
True sequel, my ass.
Yeah. Is, of course, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, you are wrong, sir. You are wrong.
Well,
there's no the.
That's what it says on IMDb.
There's no the.
Oh no, no. The original title was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They've changed it to The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
What? The original had a the, didn't it? Hang on a minute.
The original did have a the as well.
Not having this. I'm not having this.
IMDb now says the original title was Texas, but it's now The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There we go. IMDb, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Yeah. Yeah, and look underneath it. It says the original title was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Wait, hang on. We both got to check that.
Everywhere on IMDb right now gives it a nice 4.8 rating, which is more than it deserves. It says, without the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and in the poster it says Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't know why my IMDb is being weird then. I don't know why.
You've forgotten how to internet.
I have, clearly. Yes. It's been so long since I've turned this PC on. I have forgotten how to internet.
But this film was a fucking train wreck.
It was. It was not. I think we both got about 2 minutes into this film, and there was a fart joke already, or it was something so childish that we both text each other with such dumbfounded expressions on our face, going.
I think it was a joke with the kids at the gas station at the beginning. I can't remember exactly what joke, but I remember we did both notice it early on. Yeah.
It was really weird. It was either a fart joke humor. Or a dick joke. It was. It might have been a dick joke. And
it was a dick joke. You're right.
It was, yeah. We were both sitting there, wondering to ourselves, who on earth went? That's a good idea. Yeah, let's approve that. And you just, no. And it was there's a bit on the bus later down the line.
The bus scene. I want to talk about the bus scene as well, specifically because of another film we're going to talk about. But go ahead. I've got.
Leatherface gets on this bus. He's covered in blood. He's got the chainsaw revving, and all these kids literally just pick their phones up and go, "Oh, we're going to cancel you, dude." And you just sit there thinking, if any normal person in that situation would see that and think, "Oh, fuck," you would be running. There's no to run in the bus; they're all pretty much stuffed. But you would be doing all you could to get to the back of the bus, and far away from this dude as possible, not getting out your phone and Instagramming it.
Well, my quick comparison before we get back to the film on that is, and we'll get back to this film that I'm going to talk about, The Sadness, right?
Oh, yeah.
In The Sadness, the underground train scene.
Oh, yeah.
The massacre, okay? Now, in that scene, there are people filming what's happening.
Yes, there are.
But they're still edging away. They're not acting cocky about it.
No, they're terrified.
it's more of a concern. We need to. It feels like more of a concern. We need to show maybe the police or what's going on. So that's
evidence.
proof.
Yeah,
they're not being cocky about it, and then it goes up to 11 from there very quickly.
When that scene in the sadness kicks off, most of those phones go flying because they suddenly realize if we don't get out of here, we're gonna die.
Yeah, but you compare those two scenes, it's night and day.
I will give it to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The bus massacre in that film was well done. I truly enjoyed seeing all those body parts go flying.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
To see those horrible people get chopped up and just decimated with a chainsaw was lovely. But it's the context. It's the context and the way it was done.
Yeah, I know. See, I know why people want to keep these franchises going. I mean, we love these franchises. We love, Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. We love the Scream franchise, the Halloween franchise. We love them all. But even as much as we love them, eventually it does get to a point where you just have to sit and think, just let it go for a little while. Find something new to do. We know that these guys bring in the money, but if you keep destroying the stories or the franchise, eventually people will just sit there going, I don't really care. I'm not going to watch it because the last 3 films are rubbish.
Well, a lot of the time they have to, especially it's like with Aliens, the Aliens franchise, and maybe the Terminator one in the video game industry. They always, Aliens especially, right? They're always pumping out a new Aliens game nearly every year or two because they lose the franchise otherwise. They have to keep doing it, and that may potentially be the case with the film studios. It
could be. I mean, we see that with the Sony and Spider-Man. They have to do a new film every 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, they lose. Obviously, I don't know how it works now. They've got the deal with Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's whatever they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So you can understand that, and sometimes that does happen. Unfortunately, you will get studios and companies that think, well, I don't want to lose the rights. Just just do another game. Who cares?
Yeah, and it's a shame with this one, like you said at the beginning, that it retcons everything.
Really
I mean, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre timeline is dodgy at best. I mean, when we did this, I made a mock-up timeline.
Oh yeah, you did.
It's not really a timeline. You've got the original, and then basically number 2 is the true sequel to the original, and then number 3 retcon number 2 and became the true sequel, and then number 4 they didn't actually follow on from each other. They all kind of retconned each other, and then a new timeline started, and it's a mess.
I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, with the Halloween franchise, I mean, they even said it themselves. It's like, this is the Halloween film 1978 is the original film. There's no denying that. But with all the sequels and the trilogies within the sequels and blah, blah, blah that came along, they sat there and went, you can pick whichever ending you want. You can go 1, then, 4, 5, 6. You can go 1, 2 and be done. You can go 1 to 18, the new ones. So that's not too bad, but we'll do an episode on sequelitis because even horror film, no film is safe from sequelitis. There's a rare few, like The Godfather.
Yeah.
Maybe. But unfortunately, there is a point where they keep doing so many sequels. Eventually, people just think, you're on like the 16th film now. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and this film was a mess.
This film could have been better, but
the characters were so unlikable.
They really were.
The summary was basically... Here we go. Here's IMDb's summary. After 48 years of hiding, Leatherface returns to terrorize a group of idealistic young friends, I could think of a better way to describe them, who accidentally disrupt his carefully shielded world in a remote Texas town. Basically, it's that, but it's a group of young people, we'll call them, but they're trying to gentrify this old Texas town.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what it was. And he's not having it. But these people were just so unlikable, these characters. And of course, they tried to follow on the trend of the new Halloweens, where Laurie came back to try and stop Michael. They're going to try and bring back Sally Hardesty, to try and kill Leatherface. But We discussed this. There was a big difference between Laurie's trauma and Sally's trauma, I'd say, and the way their characters evolved.
Sally was at the end of the first film was so traumatized that she was out of it. She was sitting in the back of that truck. You could tell her mind had just shut down. And then she comes back in this film. She's
locked and loaded. She's been prepping for this day for 48 years. What? Didn't
do her well.
No. And she was barely in it.
Yeah, she was in it for about 5 minutes, and then she got a massively mortal wound that just go on YouTube, type in Sally Death, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you'll watch it and you'll look at it going, I'm sorry, but you would not be. She hangs on for about 5 minutes afterwards. When if you look at the way she dies, you'd be dead within a second. There is no way she would survive that.
Are you aware, folks? You can survive a chainsaw through the gut and the other side.
Yeah, and be lifted up on said chainsaw.
And then launched and suffer the fall damage and still be fine.
Yeah, did you know that?
There you
go.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
You do now.
This film's rubbish.
Yeah, it's... I was looking at... I'm on IMDb right now, and I was scrolling down, and one of the trivia was this film was supposed to come out in 2021.
Yeah.
But they did so many test screenings, which just ended in the people going, it is terrible. Netflix was the only one who bought it.
Yep. And that never says much.
No. They're probably now thinking we should never have bought this film in the first place.
They're eyeing up a sequel.
Well, it's... okay. And you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the sister of the girl that we thought was going to survive, but didn't. And she's going to come back seeking revenge on him and yada, yada, yada.
The ending in the Tesla. Because a Tesla can auto-drive itself down a dirt road, apparently.
Yes. Which has probably never been found on a Google Maps.
No.
So how it knows where it is, I don't know.
Because they even state this town is barely unknown. It's barely unknown. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to go back to this film because it.
Again, go back to episode 3 because I think episode 2 of Dreadcast was our Scream franchise.
No, episode 4 because episode 3 was our Ghostface versus Leatherface.
That's it. That's our transition episode. So episode 4 of the Dreadcast, you can go back and listen to our review of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's about 2 hours of bitching about it, and it's great.
Pretty much.
So, I think let's get into X now.
Oh yes, cool.
So by you saying that, you're going to say this is your favorite horror film of the year, isn't it?
It is. I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was fantastic with what it did, and I have my reasons. I won't go into too many of them because I can't wait till we do the X episode.
Yeah, we'll do a full episode on that for sure.
Yes. Now
you only just saw it.
Yes, I only saw this film last week.
Yeah, I saw it at the
just
cinema.
before the heat wave.
Yeah, I saw it on release, and then you didn't get time to see it, so we've waited basically.
Oh, this film. Now there are so many reasons why I love this film that I don't really want to get into because it will take away from the X episode that we will do. But the first thing that this reminded me of. Was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it was done in such a way that I was watching it going, this is exactly how the Texas Chainsaw Massacre started. It was the great build-up from the characters. In fact, to be fair, I kind of thought that they were just redoing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They just called it X.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And they made it into its own quirky, not quirky, but the
it was
way
its own
that
thing. It was very much its own thing. Yeah.
And everything it did, I love the characters in this film, which is rare for a horror film nowadays because a lot of the characters, unfortunately, you find in horror films nowadays are cannon fodder because you just think, well, not all of them. I mean, again, we've got our legacy characters.
Yep.
But a lot of them, you're like, you're in a Friday the 13th film, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Because I'm here for Jason or Michael or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this film, I loved all the characters. And it wasn't because they were. You got enough backstory to them to make them believable and to make them likable. Some of them were actually quite funny. The director is quite a laugh. I really thought he was quite funny.
He was good. Yep.
He was good. And I must admit, I have never yelled "swim faster" screaming at a screen before, because that scene, I'm not going to go into it because it will give away a few spoilers.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was watching it going, oh my God, swim faster, oh my, oh. And it was right near the end. I was like, she's not, you're going to get out, oh, okay, she made it. Oh, thank God.
So
it was a massive sigh of relief.
The basic premise of X, like you mentioned, it's got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel into it, of what you're introduced to a bunch of, I don't want to say kid, they're adults. No, they are adults.
They're adult filmmakers.
Adult filmmakers. The production crew, which is like 2 people, and the actors. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them in total. There's 6 people in total, I believe.
We have Maxine. We have Jenna Ortega from Scream
as
Lorraine. We have Bobby Lynn, Jackson, Wayne, and RJ. They are our main 6 people.
So they've basically got what would be then back in the 70s an Airbnb. They're rented out this it's like a house down the side of this like a farmhouse
outhouse. Yeah.
Of this old couple. Now there's something not right with this old couple, which you start to realize throughout the film.
I don't want to go into that because I might be spoilerish.
To me, I loved the first half of the film because of what you said. Like, it felt like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film.
It does,
I felt underwhelmed by the reveal of the horror of the film, the main horror context of the film. I felt very underwhelmed by that.
Oh, okay.
Again, I don't think we should spoil it here. We'll spoil it in the episode. But yeah, I felt very underwhelmed. I expected more.
I must admit, oh no, actually that would give it away.
It's hard, isn't
it? See, I liked the premise for it. I liked how they brought in the killer to the film. I thought it's kind of It Follows-ish esque.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But at the same time, without revealing too much, my heart was kind of like a little bit, I got a feel for you. I can see where you're coming from, and actually that's quite sad. But again,
it is sad.
If I say who or what that is, it'll reveal too much.
Let's put it down to, it's a bit sad for the reason why said killer does the killings.
Yes,
the whole context of that is sad. That's basically what we're not trying not to spoil. But yeah, did you kind of click halfway through as to that's why it's called X? Because they're shooting an X-rated film. I had no idea to begin with.
Now, I knew what they were going down there to film. Yeah. So I knew they were, these adult filmmakers going to film a naughty film. But when I started watching it, and it was reminding me a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I was wondering, has A24, are they kind of doing a parody, not a funny parody, but a serious parody of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for them to be like, guys, we can kind of do this if you wanted to give us the rights to it.
Yeah. Yeah, but then look what Netflix did. This is what we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of this year's better films, better horror films that we've seen so far. Because they took the time to build up the characters. They took the time to say, look, this is Bobby Lynn. She's that classic Marilyn Monroe, 1970s. She's got the blonde, she's the cute personality, the pin-up.
Yeah.
And she's doing it for these reasons. And then this is RJ, the cameraman. He's really into his filmmaking, and we get to see that passion. Whereas in a lot of horror films, if they were to do it as a modern day kind of horror film, a lot of them be like, yeah, we're gonna go shoot a porno, and yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
Hey, stop jerking off in the corner.
Yeah. I gotta give it to RJ. The dude was like, nah. It's like, if I film from here, I can see your nuts, but it's tastefully done, so it's a good shot. And you're like,
he's really into it.
Yeah. It's like, I'd watch that film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you know? So, like I mentioned, there is a old couple with a mystery behind them. They are the owners of the land where our cast are staying. Did you know about the fact about the old couple, about especially the female, the woman?
Now, I haven't looked up any trivia or bits for this film yet, so no.
Well, we'll give you one, and it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
So, out of our main 6, the young girl, again, I should have had all this now. The young girl who was going out with the director. She's kind of the main. She's kind of the main final girl.
Lorraine.
She's the final girl. Yeah, Lorraine. She plays the older woman.
Does she?
Yes, that is all makeup and prosthetics effects.
That's Jenna Ortega.
No, not Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega is the sound. Plays the sound.
Yeah, she's going out with RJ.
No, the director.
Oh, the director. Oh, Mia Goth.
Yeah, she plays the older woman. Yeah, that is If you look it up on the credits on IMDb.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that I thought was because I had no idea while watching it. That was a fact I found out after, and I couldn't believe it. I would never have known. You would never have known.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, Mia.
Yeah. I didn't hate this film.
And she's
like you
English.
said.
There you go.
She is English, yeah. I didn't hate this film, and like you said, it's one of the best of the year, and it is one of the best of the year. It was the second half that to me just felt underwhelming and a bit let me down. But as a whole, I could watch it again. Because it's standalone. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a. It's its own thing. We don't have enough of that.
No, I tell you, I'll save what I was going to say for the episode.
Yeah, do.
Because I think that's a good talking point for that. Yeah, because I think if I was to say that now, it would probably give away too much. I have noticed that in the crazy credits, I didn't realize this, but after the credits, there's actually a trailer.
There is.
For the prequel.
Yep.
Oh, God, I hope they make that film.
So, I do as well. Do you know what? I do as well, because it's a nice little interesting universe they've built up with that. So, we'll get more in depth for the episode. I think we can do that in the coming weeks, I think.
Yes. Oh, yes. We definitely got to get onto that whilst it's still fresh in my mind.
So, at the moment, we've got Scream, thumbs up.
Yes.
Scream 5, thumbs up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all the thumbs down.
Yep. Was not a good film.
And
X.
We need a horror thing that's different than thumbs up if we're doing video now. We need, like, the machete up or something.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea.
We need a gimmick.
Ooh, we'll have to... So, the knife slash is pretty common with ours. So we could do the knife up, knife down.
It gets a knife.
Oh, what about like a sharp knife, dull knife?
Yep, fine. That works.
And then you could have like a mediocre, knife. It's all right.
We'll work on the gimmick, but that'll do for now.
We'll work on the gimmick. Yeah.
So Scream 5 gets a good, nice, sharp, bloody knife.
It does. Yes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Not so much. Dull knife.
No. And this gets a sharp knife.
This gets a good one.
So basically,
it's a sharp knife. Yeah.
Now, tell me about Mad God.
Okay, so Mad God
if you can, because I didn't see Mad God.
So Mad God was a film that I happened across at my cousin's wedding, and I was waiting
to watch a horror film.
Yeah. Well, it was the Saturday. So it was the day before we'd had the main wedding on the Friday.
Yep.
And it was on the Saturday, and I'd been spending some time with my aunt and her side of the family. Had dinner with them, and then my family had come back from wherever it was. We were all really tired because most people had been up to like 3 o'clock in the morning, getting hammered. So we're all kind of like just shh, got a headache. Shh.
Yep.
And because I didn't drink, I was like, well, I'm fine, so I'm just gonna go spend some time in my room, maybe watch a film, just cool out. And I went on Shudder. And the first one that was recommended to me was a film called Mad God. And I thought, all right, let's have a look at this. This looks interesting.
I've seen it advertised, and the poster is fantastic.
The poster doesn't do it justice. This film is just crammed with so much stuff that I can't really explain it all. You have...
Yeah. I had no idea it was a stop motion film from the poster.
No, I didn't either until I started watching it. And I sat there going, well, it's part and part. It's mainly stop motion, but there are some live action elements much later down the film. And I don't actually know what the plot is. Because...
Well, let's read IMDb's plot, because I've just read it and this is batshit and crazy. A corroded diving bell descends amidst a ruined city. Already there's a lot of words there. And the assassin emerges from it to explore a labyrinth of bizarre landscapes and inhabited by freakish denizens. That is just a word salad.
Now, so basically that is kind of the plot.
Yeah. Whatever it was.
Whatever that was. There is a bit... I mean, someone has managed to do a storyline here.
Right.
And I'm pretty good with describing films, but I can't really describe this film. So, the assassin, an ironclad humanoid, descends into the rusty, peril-laden underground of grime, blood, and unsettling monstrosities, of which there are many. There were certain scenes in this film, even as I was watching it, going, that's a bit... I mean... how do I describe it? There's basically the assassin comes across like the red light zone of this underworld where they go to this bar. Shit's getting wild.
Yeah.
This stuff. And there are people upset. Well, puppets, stop motion things doing it. And one dude is literally having sex as he's stabbing this lady and she's enjoying it. And you're like, oh, okay. This is not something I thought was going to get on my radar, but all right.
Did you enjoy the film though?
I did.
Okay,
now
that's good.
I'm going to sum it up as the whole film. It's whilst you have this story of this assassin who's going to go blow up whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
It's mainly about humanity, and it's about how, as a species, we are so adept at just crushing everything into crap and rubbish. Because there are certain scenes in this film when you're watching it, there's a bit where Assassin 2, I shall say, finds this like weird building block society, and the denizens are these clay things. They get, they go to work, they go to push these blocks, but every now and then something will just hit them and they'll die, and it's like, oh, you're dead. Yeah, cool, don't worry, you're taking this place. In you go. And it's about how, it's literally a metaphor for the rat race, this scene. It's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter if you die because someone will replace you. And I think overall it's about how, as humanity, we are really quite crap sometimes.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time. And the ending to this film, I don't know what it was. I'm not going to reveal it now. Because even as I finished watching it, it was like 9:30, and I realized that it was about 9 o'clock, and the second party I was supposed to be going to had already been in action for about an hour, and I missed it because I was sitting in bed with a cup of tea watching this film.
What I love from just a Google image search of Mad God, some images are showing thumbnails of people say like YouTube reviews of the film, and all these thumbnails I'm seeing have the quintessential YouTube reactional face video shot. But they're all the same of like this, like...
Yeah. It's like a shock horror.
Like you're saying, it's a mad film.
It's a mad film. Great. Now, but it's not scary. Well, if you don't like seeing slightly grotesque things...
Yeah.
All right. But it's not really scary. In some moments in it, you're watching it, and you're like... There's a bit with these two kind of behemoths.
Yeah.
These big creatures, and... they're getting tortured to work, and you're watching it going, that's just really sad.
Yeah.
You could really feel for these things, and I sat there going, I'm feeling sad for two clay puppets.
They're more bleak.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, shit gets dark. There's a surgical scene, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to see this. It gets weird. So basically, that's my sum up of Mad God. Do go see it if you've got Shudder. It is odd. It is quite a long film, though. I can't remember how long it is, though. It is a bit of a long film, but it took so long for this guy to actually make it. He started working on it in the 1980s after he made RoboCop 2.
I was just looking up Phil Tippett, the director. I had no idea this dude is a visual effects god. Yes. Starship Troopers, Jurassic Park, RoboCop, episode, Return of the Jedi. Holy, this dude knows his stuff. Yeah,
you have to look out for the little reference to some of his other films, by the way, because he put in sneaky Easter eggs in Mad God. There's a bit in a graveyard. Look carefully in between the rubble and see if you can spot what's hidden in there.
Is it some carbonite?
No.
Okay.
They're iconic.
I will watch it.
They're iconic machines, shall we say, that have appeared in other films that he shoved in between this graveyard.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I didn't know. I didn't spot them at first. It was only when I looked it up, I had to go back and try and spot them. But it's so it's an 82-minute film, so it is quite a long film, though.
82 minutes? Hour and 22?
When you consider what you're watching, I had to pause it about halfway through because I was like, I need to process what's going on here.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we can add that to a future review for sure. We'll get that done this year. I think from what I've read and for what it seems like, I think you've done your utmost best to give it a brief description before we do a full episode on it. But the fact that you could say you enjoyed it,
I did.
And you'd recommend?
I would, yes. I would definitely recommend it. It's, like I said, there's no real plot.
Yeah.
But whatever you get out of it, it's probably done. I mean, for me, what I took away was how awful humanity is. At its lowest, humanity is just a cesspit of people stabbing each other in the back. But
amazing,
that's what
folks.
I took from it. You might watch it and go, I thought it was a great film. It was a great comedy about stuff. If that's what you take from it, that's what you take from it.
So I think this is our very in-depth first half 2022 catch-up where we've done 4 films and our last film isn't even from 2022. It's from 2021.
I mean, I have another film. But
do you? Go for it. Sorry, I didn't realize you had another one.
Well, the other film that I had,
what do you have? Bring it to us.
The other film that I watched is on Netflix. It did come out this year. I don't think it was quite well known, but it was called Choose or Die. And let me get the IMDb up. It's Choose or Die, and it stars Iola Evans and Asa Butterfield and horror icon veteran Robert Englund. He is in this film.
No wonder you watched it.
I know. Pretty much the basic of this film is one of the main characters. Well, at the start of the film, there's a guy who gets this game. Oh, what's it called?
It's a really. One of our main cast members here, Asa Butterfield. I recognise him. He's from Sex Education on Netflix.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he's a good director.
Eddie Marsan. That's his name. Eddie Marsan. He's the guy we see at the start. I can't remember what the actual game is though. Oh, what's it called?
So, IMDb
Cursor. That was it.
Synopsis. After firing up a lost 1980s survival horror game, Cursor, a young coder unleashes a hidden curse that tears reality apart, forcing her to make terrifying decisions and face deadly consequences. That's quite a nice plot, to be fair. It's
not a revolutionary horror film.
Yeah.
But I like the way it blended the 1980s video game Choose Your Own Adventure, because that's effectively what this is. So the characters are given 2 choices.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're quite dark. And at the start of the film, we see Eddie Marsan, who gets this game, and he boots it up. And it's like, welcome to level 1. Choose. It's like, you can either, I don't know, play in the dark, or you can play whilst it's something, a nice, easy choice. And he goes, oh, I'd like a drink. Yeah. And a beer appears near to him. He goes, oh, okay. So he gets the beer. But then as he gets further on, it starts to get worse. And very quickly you realize that the choices it gives them are not easy choices. It's kind of like truth or dare.
Yeah.
And I think his choice is pretty much your son can either hear or your wife can't speak no more. And he goes, oh, well, I was like, oh shit, what is it? What? And he chooses, oh no, was it? No, sorry, it's the son doesn't speak anymore or the wife can't hear or something like that.
Okay.
And he goes, well, does my son need to talk? And he goes, oh, the son doesn't need to talk. And then all he hears is this screaming from downstairs as his wife takes a knife and just chops out like the son's tongue.
Kind of like that's the whole monkey paw thing. The wishes on a monkey's paw.
Kind of
that
like
you want to wish for something, but it's always a negative reaction to the wish. Something bad will happen for whatever you wish. Yeah.
And it goes on from there. Some of the choices get more and more weird as time goes on.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I just kind of switched off. I watched it. I mean, I liked it because we play video games as well.
Yeah.
And it was great to see the two sort of merge, especially the 1980s kind style of games, which pretty much were, you awaken a dungeon. Do you A, turn left, or B, turn right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it goes from there. I really liked it. I would recommend it. It's on Netflix. It's an hour and a half. It's not too long.
Yeah.
So
quite graphic, would you say?
No, not really. It's not.
Okay.
I think it's a 15. It's not too graphic.
Easy watch them. Yeah.
It's a pretty easy watch. Just sit down, get a nice drink, and just have fun with it. Really.
Choose or die. Okay. Cool.
Choose or die.
I'm glad you had another one to add there. So we had more than we thought. I just when I was prepping for this today, and I realized, shit, we've got like 4 films, and one of them is from last year. The Sadness.
Yeah. The Sadness.
I really wanted to leave that to the end because I had only just watched that, and it is from 2021. For some reason I've been in my mind thinking it came out earlier on this year. It didn't. It's 2021.
Yeah, we both thought that. We thought it came out earlier this year, but no, we got it wrong.
The Sadness is one of the wildest films I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's dark and it is violent.
I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I loved every second of it. It's one of my favorite films. Well, I would say of this year. It's one of my favorite modern horror films now. It was so simple. It's beautifully shot. The sound design is great. The practical effects are so on point. Whether it be the gore, the prosthetics on the actual human body.
Yeah.
And I loved the... Again, we'll do a full episode review, but we'll just do tidbits here. I love the sort of tweak to how it's not about zombies. It's not a zombie film.
It's not, is it?
It's not. It's not a zombie film. The Sadness is it's kind of like 28 Days Later, right?
Yeah.
But it plays on the real life COVID pandemic in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if COVID existed in this time, but there was a pandemic, and there's people that believe in it a hoax. But whatever this illness was, it's mutated into this what's called the Alvin virus, which is the virus that's causing our non-zombies to actually kill, torture, rape, but also have a consciousness while doing this.
Yes, they do.
That is the scary thing.
They are fully aware of what they're doing.
Yeah. This is a fast reacting virus that will turn people into sadistic, maniacal maniacs. There's no other word. And they will outright say, "I'm going to rape you. I'm going to torture you." Like, the consciousness is there.
Oh yeah, they're not afraid to say it. This film is. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a comic book series called The Crossed that came out. It's Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
I don't know who got me into that comic book. I think I was in my comic book shop many years ago, and I was like, I like horror. Have you got any horror comics to go? I went, well, there's something called The Crossed you might be interested in. And when I looked into it, the series was fantastic, and it's similar to this, where there's some sort of plague. We don't know where it came from, and it just makes everyone who gets it is just sadistic. They act
Yeah.
out the most violent things they can. And when you see them in comic book form, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Very different.
Didn't need to see that tonight, but all right. And this film is kind of takes elements from that. I mean, I love The Cross. I thought it was fantastic.
As well as The Crazies as well.
Yes.
George Romero film.
Yeah. Also, it's called The Sadness because the infected ones, they always look like they're crying a lot of the time.
Yeah. So when you become infected, it's a very quick infection.
Yeah, it is.
It's rapid, and when your eyes sort of look bloodshot, they just turn black. And
they do, yeah.
The muscle around your eyeballs sort of swells up, and like you said, it looks like you're crying. Like the eyes start to leak
puffy.
a bit. But when you turn, you will instantly just want to kill someone and just torture or do the most sadistic, horrible things to someone, and that to me is more terrifying than say a COVID virus.
I don't want to go too much into it.
No,
I mean, I don't really want to go into too much detail about certain things either because I don't know what YouTube's policies are. They might be like, no. But the best way to describe it is when we were talking about it earlier, it's the train scene, and there's so you got to slightly feel sorry for the gentleman because he's an elderly gentleman. He might be a bit lonely, and he's just trying to have a conversation with the girl, our main girl, shall I say? And she pretty much says, "Look, don't talk to me. I think you're a bit of a dick. Just And I think he does something like he literally just gives her like a friendly pat, and she goes, "Oh, you touched me. You're a pervert."
Friendly pat. It is.
Okay, it's maybe
it's not a friendly pat.
I'm sorry, not a friendly pat. I'm remembering wrong. He basically sticks his hand on her leg.
Yeah.
And she quite rightly tells him, fuck off, get off.
Get lost.
To which he then sits there mumbling, it's like, oh, I'm not a pervert. Blah.
Yeah,
but he becomes infected, and to him, she is the target. It's like there is no one else. I am coming
throughout the whole
for
film.
you.
Yeah, that's all he wants. Yeah.
He follows her, but it's what he does to the girl that she's helping, especially in the hospital. Yeah. I was just sitting there listening to that sound.
We won't talk about that now. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it, but I was just remember sitting there going, okay.
If you've seen Serbian film, you'll know why we're not going to talk about the specific scene now.
No, no. Yeah. It's
a very simple premise as well. The Sadness. It's this infection that's. By the way, I didn't mention it's a Taiwanese film. It's set in Taipei in Taiwan. Premise follows the young couple. They wake up in their apartment. The female wants to go to work, so the boyfriend drives her to work to the station, a subway station, on his bike. She goes down on the train we were just talking about. He rides off to get some food, and we're stuck with two stories, basically trying to find each other while this madness is happening. And this kicks off within 5-10 minutes of the film, I think. Yeah,
so the girlfriend gets dropped off.
Even very subtly.
There's a radio in the background speaking about the virus that was then evolving faster than they could contain it.
Yeah.
And they weren't sure what it was going to be.
It was on the TV where he was watching it in the apartment. And that again is quite topical and relevant because there was a doctor trying to inform everyone who was watching it, saying this is mutating, this is getting worse, and they're like, nah, it's fine. And we get that nowadays. We get deniers and people that believe it's hoaxes thinking it's nothing serious, and then they get it and die. Like, it's the world we live in, and it was done very well this film in a sort of mirror imaging way, but with this ultra rabies like virus that turns them into maniacs.
It's a great talking piece about, well, I guess about viruses in general, but you can see very early on it is a direct link to the COVID pandemic that hit 2 years ago. I mean, they even go out right. It's like we got over the first one. It's evolving.
And it's what will happen. Not saying this will happen, but in the future there will be viruses that basically going to be so immune to
medicine,
antibiotics and medicine.
Yeah,
we don't know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. I mean, hopefully not this, because this is very extreme.
I mean, if this happened, I think most of us would probably go live in bunkers.
Yeah. But I want to point out as well, the sadness is fantastic. We both just said it. It is extremely gory.
Oh yes.
I have not seen a gory film like this in a very long time. And this is not for the faint heart. There are extreme levels of gore and extreme levels of violence.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of those, just give it a miss.
And sexual
because
assault.
you will. Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's quite a short film as well. I think it's only an hour and a half, so it's not like a 2 hour.
It's an hour and 39. About an hour and 40.
Yeah.
It's if you're not a fan of the gore films, just give it a miss, because this film is, from start to finish, it's just packed with people it pretty much, like we said, people act out the most sadistic things they can think of, and they do it well, shall we say.
One thing I really liked about it as well is that it's kind of not lazy, but it's a very simple story. Like I said, it's two people that have split up, but they're trying to find each other now. Very basic. But what it isn't, it's not a group of survivors and then one being picked off one by one throughout the film, like a Of the Dead film, you know?
Yeah.
It's I like that difference, and like we said, I love that they're not zombies. They're not.
Yeah,
even 28 days later, they were kind of like rage-filled zombies in a way. These are not zombies one bit.
No, they're not. They don't. They're.
Do they come back from the dead when they're attacked? Some.
No.
No, they just.
Think so.
Then I don't think they die. It's while they're being attacked, then the infection gets into their body, and then they're back up. Like before
because
they die.
I'm fairly certain there is a bloke that's attacked in this film. Oh yes, he is, because he gets his arm broken, and they're attacking him, and then when they see the main guy, when they chase him, we see him also running after him because his arm's broken. So they're not. I don't really know what. Basically, it just makes them sadistic. So obviously, it's some rewiring in their brain.
Well, there's a character, again, I'm not going to say exactly who discusses, in theory, why this is fucking up their brains. It's something simply to do with the desire part of your brain, and like the part of being able to control it. And it's something like these two parts have merged, but in a really bad way. So they can't control any sadistic desire. That's just it. There's no control left.
Effectively it shuts off the control part.
Yeah. I loved it. I think it's fantastic.
I really loved it.
It's extremely gory, but it didn't have me turning away. Not one second. I was hooked the whole way through.
It's a fantastic film. Oh yes.
Do you know what? I think out of our discussion for this episode, granted, it's going to be a shorter episode.
Yeah.
For the most part, from what we've seen this year, again, we still see Black Phone, Men, Studio 666, and a few others. But what we've discussed, it's been pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. I mean,
it's pretty good so far.
Out of all the ones we discussed, the only one we didn't like was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It was a given.
Yeah.
It was a given.
Yeah. I mean, from the trailer we watched, even when we watched the trailer back when, we were sitting there going, oh no. Oh no.
That trailer. Oh wow. I wish we were doing our trailer reactions then.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, apparently they're doing a sequel, so, we should be able to do one then.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. No, I don't want to think about it. We did our trailer reaction for another sequel we're not excited about. Let's not get too disappointed now. But anyway, that's kind of like it's like a very quick catch-up roundup.
Yeah.
There's a few films that Scream 5 and Texas Chainsaw, you can go back and listen to our full in-depth reviews.
Episode 1,
and the Sadness.
2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
They'll be coming.
The Sadness, we will be doing full reviews. So
yes.
I think we'll be ticking off a lot of them. And my God, I think I'm gonna try and find some time to watch it because I want to give it a watch. Yeah.
we could do an episode on it, but it wouldn't be a long one, mainly because, like I said, it gets to a certain point in the film and the plot kind of stops.
Okay.
At least that's what I felt. I think it gets about midway and then the plot stops and you're kind of just watching stuff happening. So it'd be more like what we'll do is it might be more that we discuss how they made it and how the special effects were done. That's probably a better way to do this film because
way into stop motion.
So. Oh yeah, the blending of the live action, the stop motion was done very well.
I'm very intrigued by that. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to check it out. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. There's our first video podcast. I don't think we were too bad. I think it was okay.
No.
Right, folks? Right?
Let us know in the comments.
Please let us know. Please let us know how bad it is. I think we can keep this going forward.
Yes, I think we can.
You'll
still be able to... Basically, the reason why we did this was... Obviously, there are people who like listening to this on Spotify.
Yep.
So we'll put it on Spotify. And there are people who prefer watching things on YouTube. So we thought we'll put it on YouTube as well. And you can see our faces. I don't know why I'm showing off my pale skin. I'm going to cover that up. By the way, I found out because of where I work, my foot, I don't know if you can see it, is literally tan and then pure white because I wear socks all the time.
That's that lovely British Caucasian pale whiteness that we have.
I know, yes.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Even when it's a heat wave, it's like, no, don't tan.
Yeah. So, until what are we doing next episode? Have we discussed
that? No, we haven't. What's next month? So, it's going to be a surprise then, because even we don't know. Well, we did the Slumber Party Massacre, and that was kind of my sort of odd choice.
I know what we were doing next episode.
Okay.
We were going to find the trashiest horror film.
We were!
So we need to discuss that off camera, which film we're going to do. Okay. There we go, folks. Next episode. So this is episode 17. Episode 18 will be... Follow us on Twitter, and you'll find out. I am Twitter at Tomzilla versus... Yourself?
I am Tainted Souls.
Yep. On Twitter. You can find the actual podcast on Instagram at _Dreadcast.
Yeah. You can also find it on TikTok at _Dreadcast as well.
Are you sure about that? Just type it in. There won't be any others.
Just type it. You'll know it's us because you will see. Well, you'll know it's me because I handle the TikTok side. You'll know it's me because you'll see the logo, and I have been doing some new videos on there. It's basically what we're doing. Did one for the Summer Party Massacre, took a load of scenes from the first... Actually, no, I did it for Scream as well. Took a load of scenes from the film, kind of stuck them together, and did a little promo for it without giving too much away. So there you go.
Lovely. There we go. So there's our socials. So Instagram, the _Dreadcast. Go follow it because that's starting to build up.
And you can email us at thedreadcastpodcast@gmail.com.
There's that as well. And you can also leave comments now in this video. Because you can see us, even though you could do it before, but hello, you can see it and do it. Leave comments down there. And this podcast, other than the YouTube video you're watching right now, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean. Amazon/Audible, all by searching The Dreadcast. And we also have one little video that will be coming out on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Unless it's already out before this. And you may have already watched it, and we're talking to you in the past. Or the future, one of the two. It's a Halloween Ends trailer reaction where we go through the trailer. We'll try and do a few more of those. I think that's it.
I've also remembered the outro as well this time. I was sitting there for a few minutes going, do not get it wrong again. That's what I always do.
Until next week, guys. Hopefully there's not another heat wave where we have to postpone it. Trashy horror film, episode 18. We'll see you then. Yes. And...
stay creepy.
That's the one.
Yeah.